Today I received a powerful spiritual message about silence and isolation, days passing unnoticed by others, yet a quiet reminder that a higher presence was still reaching out to you. Let's uncover what this could mean. This section shows how to establish the gravity of the moment.
Stop! Don't move! Before you scroll another inch, before you close this out, I need you to hear what God placed in my spirit for you today. Because this, what I am about to share with you, is not an accident. You did not stumble upon this message by chance. You were guided here. You were led here. And if you will give me just the next few minutes of your time, something is going to shift inside you that has been locked up for a very long time. God says, your neighbors watched your car sit in that driveway for 3 days. They saw it, they noticed, and not one of them knocked on your door. Not one of them picked up the phone. Not one of them walked across that lawn to check on you. 3 whole days. And the silence was so loud it almost swallowed you whole.
This section speaks to the private moments of loneliness and the divine presence within them.
But God says I knocked. Don't skip this. I was the one pressing on the walls of your heart at 2 in the morning when the house felt too still. I was the one sitting in that room with you when you couldn't remember the last time anyone said your name out loud. I was the one who heard you, even when you stopped expecting to be heard. This message is for the one who had been invisible to the world, but never invisible to God. Hold on until the end, because what I am about to reveal to you in the next 50 minutes is going to change the way you understand your loneliness, your silence, and what is already being set in motion on your behalf. My beloved child, let me speak plainly to you, because God has given me a picture of your days, and it is a picture that most people in your life have never been trusted to see.
This section reflects on the daily routine of isolation and the I'm fine mask.
You wake up in the morning, and for just a few seconds, before full consciousness arrives, it feels normal, and then the weight settles back in. The quiet, the stillness, the particular kind of silence that lives in a house where someone used to move around, used to make noise, used to be there, or the particular kind of silence that fills a house where the phone should ring more than it does, where voices that once filled every room are now just memories you carry alone. Pay close attention. God wants you to know He has seen you check that phone. He has seen you pick it up, look at the screen, set it back down on the table, and go back to whatever you were trying to do. He has seen you do that in the morning. He has seen you do it in the afternoon. He has seen you do it at night, when the room gets dark and the quiet gets heavier, and you are not quite ready to go to sleep because sleep means waking up and starting the whole thing over again. He has seen you smile at the people at church, at the shop, at wherever you go when you go out. He has seen you say, "I'm fine, thank you," with such convincing gentleness that nobody questions it, nobody looks deeper, nobody asks a second time. And you drive home, or you walk back through the door, and the face you held so carefully in public comes down like a curtain, and you are just yourself again, alone with the truth.
This section invites the viewer to respond and support the mission.
Don't skip this. He has seen the Tuesday evenings, the Sunday afternoons, the particular cruelty of a holiday morning when the world around you seems full of other people's noise and laughter, and your own house holds only the sound of your own breathing. He has seen you look out the window at the street. He has seen you stand at the window long enough to watch a car pass, and then another, and then go back to sit down because there was nowhere to go, and nobody expecting you. Your neighbors saw your car sit still for 3 days. They saw it, my beloved child, and they did not knock. And I want you to stay with that for a moment, not to grow bitter, not to condemn them, but because God is using that fact to show you something. He is the one who knocked. He is the one who has always knocked. And today, He is asking you, did you hear me? If you have felt this kind of invisible, if you have sat in that silence and wondered whether anyone in this world actually knows you are still here, type these words in the comments right now. God sees me. Type it. Let heaven know you are here. Let this be the moment you stop being invisible. This message doesn't stop with you. It reaches the one who is still searching, still doubting, still crying out in the dark. If this ministry has strengthened your faith, consider strengthening someone else's. When you give through the link in the description or pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, partnering monthly, or joining our Ko-fi community, you're not funding content, you're fueling the Great Commission. Every gift becomes gospel carried further. Every act of generosity pushes light into places we may never physically stand. There are people one message away from hope, one prayer away from surrender, one encounter away from salvation. Your generosity helps us reach them. This is more than support, it's participation. You're stepping into the harvest field with us. And when heaven counts the souls reached, your obedience will be written into their story. If the Spirit is prompting you, don't ignore it. Step into the work. Let's bring the lost home.
This section reveals the hidden work God is doing in the hearts of others.
Now I need you to hold on, because God is about to show you what has been happening on the other side of your silence. The side you cannot see, the side that explains why your phone has been quiet, why your door has not been knocked on, why the people who should have reached out haven't. And it is not what you think. Don't skip this. It is not indifference. It is not that you don't matter. It is not that you have been forgotten by the ones who once knew your name better than their own. What God is showing me right now is something else entirely. He is showing me that the people in your life who have gone quiet, they are not at peace. They are not comfortable. Something has been disturbing them. Something has been waking them in the night. Something has been sitting on their chest in the quiet moments when the distractions fall away. God is doing something called a divine disruption. It means He has begun to remove the comfortable distance. He has begun to take away the things those people use to fill the space with the busyness, the noise, the reasons not to think too hard about what they left behind when they stepped away from you. And in the gaps He is creating, something is rising up in them. A memory, a feeling, a knowing that is older than any pride, older than any hurt, older than the story they told themselves about why the distance was acceptable. You are about to find out something very important. Right now, perhaps while you are watching this very message, there is someone who has been carrying a weight they did not expect. A face keeps surfacing. Your face, your voice, a specific moment. God is using what I will call a stone of remembrance. He is causing certain memories to become unmovable in their minds. Memories of you, of who you were to them, of who you still are.
This section describes the visceral memories haunting those who stayed away.
The memory of your hands, the memory of what it felt like to be known by you, the memory of the kind of safety you provided that they have never found anywhere else since, and they have looked. They have looked in other places. They have tried to replace what you gave them with things that shone brighter and moved faster, and none of it has been the same. None of it has sat with them the way you sat with them. None of it has known them the way you knew them. And God says, the stone of remembrance is working. The memories are not fading. They are growing louder. Every day that passes without reaching out to you makes the stone heavier. This is not punishment, it is grace. It is the grace of a God who loves them too much to let them stay comfortable in a separation that is slowly diminishing them. Type this in the comments if you believe it. God is working on their heart. Say it. Claim it. Because what I'm about to show you next in the section coming up is what is happening inside that person right now, in the most private corners of their days. Don't move. What I'm about to describe to you is a prophetic portrait, a picture God has given me of what is happening inside the person, or the people, who have kept their distance from you. And it is intimate, because God sees into rooms that no one else is allowed into. They are at home, or at work, or in a car, and something small happens, something the world would call insignificant, and suddenly you're there. Suddenly the wall they built around the thought of you has a crack in it, and the light from the memory of you is pouring through. It might be a smell, the particular smell of something cooking a meal you once made for them, and for a moment they are not where they are. They are back somewhere older and warmer and safer, and the feeling that rises in them is so unexpected that it almost embarrasses them, because they did not know they still felt this way. They thought they had moved past it. They thought the distance had made them less attached, and now they are standing in a kitchen or an aisle of a shop or a car park, and they are realizing with a force they were not prepared for. They have not moved past it at all.
This section addresses the shame that prevents outreach and the coming breakthrough.
Pay close attention now, or it might be a child, a young person in their life who does something, or says something, or tilts their head a particular way. And in that gesture is a flash of you, because the shape of you, the way you move through a room, the way you love it lives on in them. It is in the blood. And when they see it surfacing in the next generation, something cracks open in their chest that they do not have language for. God told me to tell you this. Their thumb has hovered over your name. They have been in the contacts on their phone, your name sitting there, unchanged, and their thumb has hovered, and they did not press it, not because they did not want to, but because the shame arrived before the courage did, because they looked at the calendar and counted the time that has passed, and the number was so large that it felt impossible to cross. It has been too long, something in them said. They will not want to hear from me now. I have waited too long. I have gone too far. This is the part most people scroll past, but it is where the breakthrough begins. That voice, the voice that says it is too late, that the distance is now permanent, that the door closed the moment they stopped knocking, that voice is not from God. That voice is the enemy of restoration, and God is dismantling it. He is dismantling it one sleepless night at a time, one unbidden memory at a time, one hollow achievement at a time. Every accolade that used to satisfy is satisfying them a little less. Every distraction that used to work is working a little less. Every substitute for the real thing is growing thinner and more transparent. And in the space that opens up when those things fail to fill it, there is your name. There is your face. There is the particular way you said their name. There is the particular feeling of being with someone who has loved them without condition. and without an agenda for longer than they can remember. Type this right now. The door is still open because God is telling you to keep it open, not for their sake alone, for yours, because your open door is not weakness. It is the holiest kind of strength there is.
This section scripts the apology and restoration that is prophesied to occur.
Don't skip this. God has given me a word for you that I need to deliver carefully and completely. He has shown me the conversation that is coming. Not a conversation that might come or could come or should come, the one that is coming. And He wants you to hear the words before they arrive, so that when they do, you are not too shocked to receive them. They are going to reach out to you. I don't know exactly when, but I know it is coming. And when it comes, this is what you are going to hear. These are the words that have been forming in them, beneath all the silence, beneath all the pride and the shame and the years. These are the words God has been tending in them like a slow fire until the moment was right. They are going to say, I don't know where to begin. I've started this so many times and I couldn't find the words. But I'm starting anyway because I can't keep going without saying it. They are going to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the silence. I'm sorry for acting as though you didn't matter, because you mattered more than I ever let you see. I'm sorry for every birthday I let pass, every holiday I made an excuse for, every time you reached out and I didn't reach back. I'm sorry, not because it's the right thing to say, because I mean it. Don't stop reading. They are going to say, I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about what it must have felt like waiting and not hearing back, not getting the call, sitting there, and I have been ashamed of myself in a way that I didn't know how to face, so I faced it by not facing it at all, which made everything worse. They are going to say, you were right about so many things I told myself you were wrong about. You saw things I didn't want to see yet. You knew things I wasn't ready to admit, and I spent a long time resenting you for that, and I understand now that I was resenting my own reflection. And then, my beloved child, hold on, for this part. They are going to say the deepest thing, the thing beneath all the other things. They are going to say, I'm scared. I'm scared that I waited too long. I'm scared that you've closed the part of yourself that was for me, and I wouldn't blame you if you had. I'm scared that I've lost the right to need you, but I still need you. I never stopped needing you. I just forgot to say it, and then I was too ashamed to say it, and now I'm saying it. God is collecting every fragment of your broken heart, and He is putting them back together in this moment. Every piece of you that believed you were not worth coming back to, He is replacing that belief with this. They are coming back. Not because you begged, not because you made it easy, but because God made staying away impossible. Type this in the comments to claim it. I receive this promise. Type it right now. Let heaven register that you have heard this word and you are willing to believe it. Revival doesn't spread by accident. It spreads because believers decide to act. If this message stirred something in you, imagine what it could do for someone who has never heard truth spoken with clarity. When you give through the link below, whether once or as an ongoing partner, you help send the gospel beyond this moment. You become part of every testimony, part of every restored heart, part of every soul that turns back to Christ. Your generosity turns sermons into lifelines and videos into divine appointments. Scripture tells us that some plant, some water, but God brings the increase. Today you can be the one who plants. If you believe souls matter, this is your opportunity to move from agreement to action. Let's reach them while there is still time.
This section validates the hidden grief and confirms the faithfulness.
Before I go any further, God is asking me to slow down, to sit with you for a moment, because before He shows you what is coming, He wants to acknowledge what has been, and He wants me to say it plainly, without softening it, without rushing past it to get to the hope, because your pain deserves to be witnessed, not just healed, witnessed. The world does not have a name for what you have been carrying. There is grief for those who die. There is a ceremony for that kind of loss. There are casseroles brought to the door and cards in the mail and people who hold you and say the right things. But the world does not have a ceremony for losing someone who is still living. The world does not know how to sit with the grief of a relationship that went quiet, a connection that faded, a love that was not returned in kind. You grieved without language. You grieved without witnesses. Don't skip this. God saw you eat your meals at a table that once held more life than it does now. He saw you set a place and then look at it and put it away again. He saw you keep certain habits, making too much food, leaving certain lights on, holding certain silences the way you might hold a photograph, because those habits were the last threads to what your life used to contain. He saw all of it, every single ordinary moment of your extraordinary faithfulness in the face of loss. And He wants me to tell you something that you may not have heard in a very long time. If you have ever heard it at all, you did not go wrong. This was not your failure. Whatever stories were told about you, whatever distance was justified by characterizations of you that did not match who you actually are, God has been keeping the true record. He has been keeping account of every sacrifice, every time you chose them over yourself, every time you showed up when it cost you something, every time you loved without guarantee of return. The Tuesday night when you sat at a table built for more people than were there, God was sitting across from you. The Sunday afternoon when you heard laughter from somewhere else, and the silence of your own space felt like a reproach. He was in that room with you. The night you held the phone for a long time and did not call, because you were tired of being the one who always called. He held that moment with you. He counted it. He kept it. You are someone who has loved deeply in a world that does not always know what to do with deep love. And that is not a flaw. It is the most sacred thing about you. If you are not yet subscribed to this channel, I want to ask you to do that now. Not for any earthly reason, but because God is sending messages through this place that are meant for you specifically. When you subscribe and turn on that notification, you are telling Destiny that you are ready to receive every word He has prepared. You are saying, I am here. I am listening. I am open. Don't let another message find you after the moment has passed. Subscribe now. And I need to ask you something. Is there guilt you have been carrying alongside the grief? A question that lives in the quieter moments. Did I do something wrong? Was it something I said or didn't say, or something about who I am? I want you to lay that question down right now, because God is dismantling it. He is the holy haunting. He has been putting your name into rooms where your name was not supposed to be spoken. He has been playing back the record of your love to people who tried to stop listening. You did not fail. You were faithful. And faithfulness is never wasted in the economy of God. Type this as your declaration. I did not go wrong. Type those 4 words. Let this be the moment you stop prosecuting yourself for a verdict that was never warranted. Now God is showing me the specific memories He is using, the ones He is pressing into the minds of those who have been at a distance from you. the ones that will not leave them alone. I want to take you through them one by one, because I believe as I name them, you will recognize your own story in them. The first memory is of your hands, not your hands doing anything dramatic, just your hands doing what they always did, working, preparing, building, tending, reaching across a surface to do something ordinary that nobody ever thought to thank you for. Your hands are remembered now. They are being remembered in the middle of ordinary days by someone who once took those hands for granted, and they are realizing nobody in their life now gives them the kind of tireless, quiet care that your hands gave them. Nobody. The second memory is a smell, something from your kitchen or your home, or a particular time of year, a smell so specific that it cannot be replicated anywhere else. They will encounter it somewhere unexpected, on an ordinary day, and it will stop them. It will fold them back in time. It will take them somewhere so familiar that the contrast with where they are now becomes almost unbearable. Don't skip this. That smell is God's fingerprint on the memory. He chose it. He placed it there. The third memory is your voice, the particular way you said their name, the specific register of your voice when you called to them, when you worried about them, when you were proud of them, when you were trying to tell them something important. Voices are stored in a deep place. They do not fade the way faces sometimes fade. Your voice is in them. It is rising. And when it rises, it brings with it everything that lived in the space around it, the safety, the familiarity, the irreplaceable sense of being known. The fourth memory is a car ride, or a walk, or a particular afternoon, a moment of time in motion when no one was performing for anyone, when the ordinary rhythm of being together was taken so completely for granted that it felt like nothing at all. It was everything. They know that now. The ease of it, the unearned comfort of it. Nobody else in their world gives them that ease anymore. They have to work at belonging everywhere else they go. They never had to work at it with you. Type this in the comments. They remember. Because they do. God has made sure of it. And memory is the first step toward the door. There are people battling silent storms who will never walk into a church, but they will click on a message like this. When you give through the link in the description or pinned comment, you help us meet them there. You help us speak truth where confusion reigns. You help us proclaim Christ where compromise has grown loud. This isn't about sustaining a platform. It's about standing in the gap for someone eternity-bound. Your seed becomes truth for the deceived, strength for the weary, invitation for the lost. And while we may never know every name this side of heaven, God does. If you've ever prayed, Lord, use me, this is one way He does. Join the mission. Let's carry the gospel further, together.
This final section describes the physical and spiritual release of the coming reconciliation.
Something very big is coming your way. God is not finished speaking. He has shown me the wound, and He has shown me what is moving beneath the surface. Now He is showing me the moment, the actual moment, and I want you to see it as clearly as He has shown it to me. There is a door in this vision, your door, and there is a figure on the other side of it who has stood there before years ago, when they were younger, when things between you were different, and now they are back. Not the way they left, not the way you last saw them, broken open by something only God knows how to do, red-eyed, shaking perhaps, holding something, a phone, a piece of paper, themselves with hands they cannot quite steady. And the knock comes. Don't skip this moment. After all the car sitting still in the driveway, after all the nights of no calls and no messages, After all the hoping you had learned to tamp down so it wouldn't hurt as much. A knock comes, a voice comes, and the voice is saying your name the way they used to say it when they were not yet too proud to need you. And they are saying, I'm sorry, I'm here, please, I'm home. And I want to tell you what happens in your body in that moment, because God is concerned with your body as much as your spirit. The weight that has been sitting on your chest, the one that arrives so gradually you stop noticing it, the way you stop noticing a sound that has been playing for too long, that weight begins to lift. The tension that has been living in your shoulders and your jaw and the space behind your eyes begins, slowly, to release. Things that medicine could not touch, things that rest could not resolve, beginning to move. Stop counting days, stop calculating whether enough time has passed, whether the wound is healed enough, whether you are ready. Start counting signs instead. The signs are already here. They have been arriving. The unexpected memory of you in someone else's day, the restlessness they cannot explain, the growing dissatisfaction with a life that contains everything except you. These are previews. These are the first light of a morning that is already on its way. Type this as your declaration of faith. My restoration is near. Type it in the comments right now. Set a marker in the spiritual realm. Let this be the moment you chose to believe before the evidence finished arriving. My beloved child, don't move yet, because what God is doing in your life is not a small thing. It is not just the one phone call, the one knock on the door, the one conversation. What is being restored is not a single relationship. What is being restored is an entire inheritance. There are grandchildren or children or people in the next generation who need to know your face, who need to know your voice, who need to hear the stories that only you can tell, from a vantage point that only age and faithfulness and survival can produce. There are things that only you know, recipes, family histories, the names of people who would otherwise be forgotten, the way your family laughed, grieved, worked, prayed. These things live in you, and they are in danger of being lost if the distance continues. But God is not going to let that happen. There will be an afternoon, perhaps not so far from now, when a young person in your family sits beside you and asks about something from the old days, and you will tell them, and they will be quiet in that particular way young people get quiet, when something real is reaching them, and you will feel it. You will feel yourself mattering in the way you were always supposed to matter, not as a role or a function, but as a person, a full person, with a full story, whose existence has shaped the very features of the faces looking back at you. Share this message with one person today who is sitting in the silence of an unanswered door. When you share it, you extend the anointing. You multiply what God is doing here. You become part of the chain of restoration He is building. Beyond the family, God is speaking to other areas of your life too. The years that felt like they were wasted in waiting are not going to stay wasted. The Bible speaks of the years the locusts consumed being restored. And what that means in your life is that the time you spent faithful in the silence, faithful in the grief, faithful in the loving with no guarantee of return, that time was not subtracted from you. It was invested, and the return on that investment is beginning to arrive. Your story is not ending in this silent season. Your story is becoming something, a testimony, something that will reach further than your own home, your own family, your own life. There are other people who will see what God does for you and find the courage to believe He can do it for them too. Your restoration is not just for you. It never was. Type this as your final declaration before we close. My family is being made whole. Type it over your bloodline. Type it over the generation that comes after you. Type it as an act of faith in the God who knocks even when the neighbors don't. My beloved child, we are almost at the end, but before we close, I need you to do one thing for me. Close your eyes for just a moment if it is safe to do so, and I want you to picture the face of the person or the people who have been at a distance from you. Not their face now, their face from before, the version of their face that existed when things were good, when things were simple, when the love between you was not yet complicated by time and pride and silence. Hold that face. That is the face God is calling home. Not the hardened version, not the distant version, the original. And what is coming is not just a reconciliation, it is a resurrection, not of a body, but of a bond, something that was buried under years and misunderstandings and the slow accumulation of unspoken things. God is raising it up. He is the God of resurrection. It is what He does. Now, I want to give you 3 things to do before you sleep tonight. First, type your declaration in the comments. Whatever word God gave you in this message, type it. Let the spiritual realm register your faith. Second, share this message with one person who needs it. Someone whose car has also been sitting still. Someone whose door has also not been knocked on. Extend the anointing. Multiply the blessing. Third, if you have not yet subscribed, do that now. Turn on every notification, because God is not done sending messages through this place that were made for you. It is done. The word has been spoken over your life. The stones of remembrance are in place. The divine disruption is at work. The door of your heart is open, and the door of their heart is opening. Receive it. Believe it. Watch it manifest in your days. May the God who saw your car sit still for 3 days, the God who knocks when neighbors don't, may He pour His peace over you tonight. May He fill the silence in your house with something warmer than noise. May He prepare you for what is already on its way to your door. Amen.